The official definition for facial piercing is a body piercing that penetrates the face in order to hold piercings or jewelry, or just a hole in your face. Facial piercings get a bad rep, but they're great ways for people to like customize their appearance. You know, like in GTA when you go to the barbershop and you for some reason can change your whole outfit in front of the mirror. Facial piercings are a great way for people to decide what they look like or what kind of vibe they give off. For example, I feel like whenever I tuck my septum piercing up or when I remove it completely, I feel like all my facial features kind of like soften. That's not the case whatsoever. In fact, my nose actually doesn't change whenever I flip it up or remove my piercing. Woo! Neither does my jaw. Crazy, I know. It allows people to sort of have a little bit more control about how they look, and that usually relieves them and gives them a little bit of self-confidence. So why the bad rep? People from older generations, like millennials, Gen X, boomers, they kind of dog on facial piercings. They think it's trashy or disrespectful. Like, they'll completely, like, not let you in their life if you have a facial piercing, which is absolutely insane, because imagine how many cool people you're missing out on if you just strike out a group of people that you're never gonna interact with. That's kind of whack. Some places won't even let you have a job or consider hiring you if you have a facial piercing. For instance, you can't be a teacher with a facial piercing. You can't be a doctor with a facial piercing. Although the doctor one has a little bit of like reasoning behind it, you know, getting infected or the jewelry possibly falling out, why can't you teach with the facial piercing? They're severely low maintenance. They don't like draw extra attention. It's just the same thing as an ear piercing, but it's not on the ear. It can be on your lip, nose, eyebrow. They're cool. I don't understand why you can be literally like kind of discriminated against because of a piece of jewelry you choose to wear. Although some people have facial piercings because they look cool or feel cool or whatever, it's a sacred thing to a lot of people with cultural meaning or, you know, religious value. For example, a lot of people who practice Hinduism, there's like a whole ceremony for women piercing their noses. Also, it's not a new thing. It is trendy right now, and piercings are super in. For example, snake bites is a really popular one right now. Same thing with angel fangs. My point is, although they're really trendy right now, they've existed longer than we can even like specifically track down. The people of science, whoever the fuck that includes, dug up remains of a 12,000-year-old body in Africa to pierce their face, and a lot of those piercings had to do with spirituality or religion or some cool stuff like that that should be respected and valued even if you're not a part of that culture. So to shame someone or practically discriminate against someone because they have a piece of jewelry in their face, definitely weird. You know, some facial piercings can be pretty mild, like for example my septum piercing. Whenever I flip it up or remove it, there's no evidence that I have that piercing. There's no visible hole. The same thing happens if you get your tongue pierced. Super subtle. You only really know if you're opening your mouth to speak. For example, if I had a tongue piercing right now, since I talk with my teeth kind of close together, you probably wouldn't even notice. Piercings get more extreme, kind of like the iceberg chart, if you've ever seen that or used that in literally any college class. I have used that over and over and over again. So it kind of fits in with what we're talking about. Basically, there's an iceberg, and half of it, or a little less than half of it, I guess, is above water, and that represents the less extreme dominations of the topic that you're talking about. The farther you go down underwater and farther down to that bottom little tip, you get more extreme with whatever you're talking about. So for piercings, facial piercings that is, the top of it is the less extreme ones, like a septum piercing, a tongue piercing, a simple little nose ring, you know, eyebrow piercing, stuff like that. Then you get into non-traditional piercings, you know, ones that are super trendy at specific points, but you don't really see them when they're not trending, and that's things like bridge piercings or angel fangs or sometimes snake bites. Go in and out of more extreme and non-extreme. Facial piercings become more extreme when you start to stack them. Like if I had my nose pierced right here and then the septum as well, that would be considered more extreme if I just had one of the three or two of the three. You've probably seen people with stretched ears where it starts out like a piercing and then the earlobe just gets a big circle in it. Those are called gauges. I think they're cool, My mom doesn't. Some people stretch their lips, some people stretch their cheeks even. So, and a lot of people also stretch their septum. Wonder how that smells. It gets more extreme the deeper you get into it and the more involved you get into it. And I think it's super cool because it's another way for people to just customize their appearance and feel more confident in their skin. But also for some people, like a smaller portion to connect with their religion or their culture or, you know, whatever. You don't owe anybody an explanation as to why you got your face pierced. The whole point of this video, because piercing is a whole. The whole point of this video wasn't just to tell you that facial piercings exist and about the different extremities of it. It was to get into the things that people say to those with their face pierced. I got my nose pierced in the fall of 2022, and right now it's February 2023. So I've had it for about 5 or 6 months. The comments I have gotten since like literally the day I got it to today have been actually crazy, and I just figured, like, why not talk about it, because that may stop someone from making a comment, or it just might be funny to people who've never heard these kinds of comments before. Because I thought I would get the whole "you look like a bull" thing, but some of the things that people say are like actually a little bothersome. So my mom took me to get my septum pierced, which was definitely an experience, as you can imagine. Mothers usually are not on board with the whole facial piercing thing. But I wanted my lip pierced, so this was like a healthy medium for her. She was certainly uneasy about it, but she didn't say anything right off the bat. It was like, that's ugly. She said that I looked prettier without it and that she was happy I finally got it to shut me up. I go to work that evening, everything's fine, until the grown men that I work with started making comments about ripping it out of my face. Like just grabbing a piece of jewelry and ripping it out of my nose to make the damage like significantly worse. One guy asked why I got it done, and before I could even get the answer out of my mouth of, "It looks cool, I just liked it," he said, "You probably got it done for your boyfriend to pull you around by it and lead you around so you don't get lost or distracted." Girl, what? Two wild things about that. First of all, that's fucked up. Why would you say that to somebody? Second off, I wasn't even dating anybody at the time. He just said that. He just said that to say that. Like, I've had people talk about using a magnet to rip it out of my face even easier, as if yanking a little bit was too much of a deal for them. Don't do it either way, especially like talk about it out loud. Don't talk about doing that to my face out loud to me. I'm gonna get anxious. I'm gonna get terrified of you. One guy at work told me that he wanted to take a little battery and put it to where it touched either side of the jewelry and shock me. He wanted to electrocute me using the jewelry that I got. I don't think getting mad at that is having a short circuit. I kind of expected comments whenever I got my face pierced. I mean, I got my fucking face pierced, and I'm like in a extremely conservative area. But damn, if I spoke every intrusive thought that I had, you guys would be terrified. So why are you doing this to me? These people are grown as hell, like with kids and genuine bills to pay. I was just working there for extra spending money. But I don't know, the idea of them making just the most out-of-pocket comments to me, it was so piercing. I do plan on getting more facial piercings, and for those of you who have heard nasty comments being made to those with their face pierced, I hope that doesn't deter you away from getting the piercings that you want. It's a cool thing. I mean, seriously, we figured out a way for pieces of jewelry to just sit anywhere we want to as long as our body doesn't reject it. That's cool as hell. I say decorate yourself the way you want to decorate yourself. Doesn't matter what other people think. But it's easier said than done to just not care. If you don't have your face pierced, or you don't plan on getting your face pierced, and you know somebody with their face pierced, make a nice compliment to them, because I'm sure they get those a lot less than they get rude or intrusive thoughts spilled into weird comebacks. But it's not even a comeback because I didn't say anything in the first place. You're coming back to me decorating my body? What? To facial piercers out there who may be watching this, keep doing your thing. It's awesome what you do. It makes people feel more confident and comfortable in their body, but could also connect them to something much bigger than you know, like spiritually or just internally. To facial piercees out there, or those who have their face pierced, rock it. Keep on doing you. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. I think you made a good choice. I just hope that people don't treat you poorly because of it. And last but certainly not least, to pierce the veil. Before I wrapped up this video, I just wanted to reinstate my opinions on last time. And it's just, first of all, don't be a weirdo. Don't make comments to people who didn't ask for your opinion. And even if they did ask for your opinion, be like, you sure you want me to be honest, because it's gonna be mean. And 2, all good things come from holes. That concludes the script for my first YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more stuff like that, I have so many more ideas, so I would absolutely love to keep making them. I just getting a little bit more comfortable. So thank you so much for watching.